We begin with that breaking news. It is our big story tonight.
The city of Detroit is mourning the loss of yet another young police officer. This is 25-year-old Darren Weathers. He was a young father, a model police officer, and a hero.
He died in a violent crash in a training exercise in southwest Detroit. This all unfolding in the area of Michigan near Clark. And we have Team 7 coverage.
Kim Craig has new information about Officer Weathers, but we begin with 7 Action News reporter Jennifer Ann Wilson live to show us what happened. Jennifer Ann.
Well, Glenda and Dave, we all know how dangerous the job of a police officer is, but I don't think any of us ever thought we'd be reporting on a young, promising officer dying during a training exercise, and yet that's what police say happened right here on Michigan Avenue near Clark, near this overpass. In fact, I met a woman who says she approached that very same intersection just minutes after the crash, and it's the worst accident she has ever seen. It's a terrifying image to see from above. Pieces of a Dodge Charger, an unmarked police vehicle, scattered along Michigan Avenue. Even more heart-stopping to see from just feet away.
But it was just all mangled. At first it was flipped over, too.
Terry Litt was returning to High Grade Deli after making a delivery when she came upon the accident on Michigan at Clark. It was 11:30 this morning.
There was a car on the right-hand side, just like mangled. It looked like a car, but then I realized it was a car that was split right in half.
Police say 25-year-old Darren Weathers was practicing surveillance techniques during a training exercise when another vehicle struck his Charger, sending it into a metal barrier and splitting it in half. The other vehicle, a black SUV, suffered minor damage. Litt returned to High Grade Deli just a couple blocks away, and her concern for the driver of the Charger increasing as Michigan Avenue was closed to traffic.
All these cop cars, ambulances, fire trucks were coming, and then next thing we know, it was all blocked off.
Investigators spent nearly 5 hours on the scene. The driver of the SUV, a man according to witnesses, suffered only minor injuries. Officer Darren Weathers did not survive.
I mean, 5 minutes earlier, I could have been there because I go down and deliver over there. So 5 minutes earlier, it could have been my car. I don't know.
Well, as you can see, Michigan Avenue is now reopened, but there are a lot of questions. How in the world could something like this happen? How could a young, promising officer lose his life during a training exercise? Well, Police Chief James Craig says they are investigating and they will find answers. In the meantime, my coworker, 7 Action News reporter Kim Craig, has been learning more about who Officer Weathers was. And it sounds, Kim, like he made a really big impact during the short time he was on the force.
Absolutely, Jen. He sure did. And doctors here at Henry Ford Hospital did everything they could do to save Officer Weathers, but his injuries were beyond fixing. Another Detroit police officer gone too soon.
Who wanted
Detroit police officer Darren Weathers hanging out with neighborhood children while on patrol in this video that went viral in August. The 25-year-old officer, a dad to his own little girl who just traveled from Georgia to Michigan to spend time with him. But shortly before noon today, Officer Weathers was killed in this horrific crash.
He was transported here to Henry Ford, where they did everything they could possibly do to save his life. Unfortunately, he succumbed to his injuries.
Weathers had only been a Detroit police officer for 1.5 years, and when he crashed today, he was training on how to follow people as part of his duties in the police department's integrity unit.
This unit is responsible for the investigation of officers involved in alleged misconduct, so part of their duties is to surveil.
Weathers was a respected police officer. He even received the Medal of Valor for saving Officer Waldis Johnson's life in April after he had been shot.
He was then able to take his partner Waldis out of harm's way, and we believe that his courageous actions resulted in saving Waldis's life.
Detroit Police Chief James Craig says many people called Officer Weathers lucky, a young officer with so much to give the city he grew up in, a real-life hero to fellow officers and children he touched.
So it's certainly a dark day. Our officers stay committed, dedicated. So there's a lot I'm thinking about right now, and it's a very difficult time for the Detroit Police Department. Very difficult.
Oh, we gotta do one more, we're good. Now, all right. All right, I'm about to go.
Should we race now?
No, I'm gonna come back tomorrow.
And Officer Weathers recently posted on Facebook, he wrote, "Never settle. I deserve more. Don't get content. I need to grind harder. You've done a lot to be 25. I have so much more to accomplish, experience in life." Reporting live in Detroit, Kimberly Craig, 7 Action News.
He cared so much, Kim. He will really be missed. Head to WXYZ.com for continued coverage of this breaking news, including personal videos of Officer Weathers working within the community and Chief Craig's complete press conference about the accident.